Recently, political analyst Prince Mashele compared the decline of the ANC to the fall of the Roman Empire. Do you agree with his perspective, and would you like to expand on it?
Yes, I agree, and here's why. Prince made this comparison because both the ANC and the Roman Empire held immense political power, and at their peak, their downfall seemed unthinkable. There are clear similarities in how they declined, as he explained. To add to that, let me give more context for our audience. The Roman Empire suffered from internal conflicts, which were incredibly damaging. Factions fighting for power left the empire vulnerable to outside attacks, weakening it even further. Whoever emerged victorious often inherited a fragile state. On top of that, measures to fix their problems, like raising taxes, which led to revolts, or debasing their currency to provide temporary relief, caused inflation and more unrest. We see parallels in the ANC today. Ramaphosa leads a weakened party, and efforts to restore order, like the step-aside rule or discussions about forming a coalition government with the DA, often lead to more divisions within the party. These similarities are striking, though I hope I'm not overstating the comparison. Additionally, the comparison to the Roman Empire can give us an idea of how South African politics might evolve in the future.
Oh, really? How so?
The Roman Empire may have fallen as a single powerful entity, but it didn't vanish entirely. Instead, it broke into pieces, giving rise to the countries we know today as France, Spain, Portugal, and others. Its influence remains immense. Latin forms the root of many languages. Roman architecture inspired global designs, and even our calendar is Roman. Most significantly, Roman law laid the foundation for governance in 75 to 80% of the world's nations.
Fascinating. And what does this have to do with the ANC?
Good question. Let's assume, as people like Prince Mashele predict, that the ANC continues its decline. That might spell the end of the party as a dominant force, but not of its ideology or its influence. The way the ANC operates and the values it embodies would still shape the political landscape.
How so?
Take May 2024 as an example. The ANC won 40% of the vote, the MK party got 15%, and the EFF took 9%. Together, they hold a majority. And what do they have in common?
They all come from the ANC.
Exactly. One empire to rule them all. The majority of South Africans still align with ANC-style politics. The EFF, MK party, and ANC share similar structures, reference the same struggle heroes like Winnie Mandela and Oliver Tambo, and even sing the same chants.
So, are you saying South Africa's future might not be governed by the ANC itself, but by ANC-like parties?
That's an excellent question. In theory, yes. These ANC breakaways collectively hold significant power, but that doesn't necessarily mean they'll govern together. Let me explain with two reasons. One simple, the other more nuanced.
Go on.
First, the simple reason. These parties split from the ANC because of friction. They didn't get along when they were one party, so why would they now?
Too much bad blood and ego, I suppose.
Exactly. Now for the nerdy answer. In the Roman Empire, power struggles often revolved around legitimacy. Whenever someone usurped power, they didn't rely solely on force. They made claims of legitimacy, family ties, intellect, military achievements, or ideological purity. The same is true for ANC breakaways like the EFF and MK party. They all claim to be the rightful heirs of the ANC's revolutionary legacy, arguing that the ANC itself has lost its way.
Interesting. Can you elaborate?
Sure, look at the EFF. Their name, Economic Freedom Fighters, directly borrows from the ANC Youth League's slogan, Economic Freedom in Our Lifetime. By calling themselves fighters, they're staking their legitimacy not just in ideology, but in action. COPE did something similar. Their name, Congress of the People, references the ANC's 1955 Freedom Charter gathering. They were acknowledging the ANC's legacy while claiming to be its true successors. The MK party follows this same strategy, taking its name from the ANC's former military wing, Umkhonto we Sizwe. They're signaling that they carry the revolutionary torch. So, like Roman generals, these breakaway parties argue that they, not the ANC, are the legitimate heirs of the movement. This is why their strategies echo that of the Roman Empire's power struggles.